It's not like when you hear like a brand new fucking Ras Kass song or something like that.
Yeah, I hear that.
What the fuck is that? It's not like brand new Redman, and you're like, oh, this is horrible. And it's like, you were my hero.
Yo, welcome back to Shotgun the Orcs podcast. It's your boy Tom back again, joined by Aidan and Jake. We have another very special guest today. He's part man, he's part lager. It's London-based rapper CLBRKS. How you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, man, just as we were saying, just kind of holding it down in lockdown, trying to stay sane.
Yeah, likewise. Sorry, that's
it's a marching band going on in the background.
Yeah. There's a marching band going on in the background that is my girlfriend getting ice out of the freezer. We've been, as you can tell, we've been drinking quite a lot considering the ice on the freezer. But it's good actually. I'm surprised. I was hearing this thing. It's been a strain on a lot of couples. We're arguing less than last year, so it's all right.
I hear that, man. It's like the nation's coping mechanism to drink more. That's kind of my crutch anyway, but I've just been, on it constantly, man. Do you know what I mean?
It's
every day is the same. It's like that 9 Inch Nails song, man. Every day is the same. It's just like, it literally is the same every fucking day. But
somebody else said Groundhog Day, some shit like that. Yeah, it's caused me to behave in some odd ways, definitely. What I found is just like is people have sort of forgotten about how to just generally interact with one another in person, and like even on social media. I don't know if it's like, when people talk about Mercury being in retrograde and that and shit like that. Maybe it's one of them things. I think people are just all moving a bit mad at the moment.
Do you know that 2020 is the year that every planet will retrograde?
Oh, so it's just a shit year in general, is it?
Yeah.
I picked a good one to drop an album, innit?
Yeah. I know. What does retrograde mean, man? Because I don't know. I know fuck all about this sort of stuff.
I'll just quickly define retrograde. I think it's when you have a deficiency of something. So, so retrograde.
Google.
Is it just
What's the benefit? It's cycle.
Oh, dude, I keep my dictionary on standby. So, it's an adjective directed or moving backwards or reverting to an earlier or inferior condition.
Oh, man. So now I know what James Blake's singing about in that song. Makes sense.
I mean, like, shit, man. I feel bad that you even know what he's singing. Like, I haven't heard that shit. I remember his last album dropped. Everybody was like, oh yeah, this shit's gonna be fire. And then like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's not as fire as he wanted it to be. So I just never checked it out.
It's fair one, man. But what have you been doing besides drinking during lockdown to kind of channel, your creative, like to get your kind of creative outlet and stuff? Like, what you been watching or reading or listening to? Anything in particular?
Inspiration wise, I mean, usually when I'm not in this lockdown sort of scenarios. Sorry, let me just pass this soup. I would go out to art galleries and go for walks and just generally party and meet people and shit. I reverted back to watching The Sopranos for a minute.
Yeah, man, I'm on it as well, man. How far have you got into it?
I'm deep into season 3, but like I had to cut it short like 2 weeks ago because it just gets dark. I think Ralphie beat the stripper to death, innit?
Oh,
so
man,
I just thought I don't need this media in my life right now, man. I need some positive shit going on.
He's a horrible bastard, man, Ralphie.
Does he get? You can ruin it for me. Does he get marked off?
Oh man, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. But there is like he's into some kinky shit though. In like season 5, I think he's with like Tony Soprano's sister, and she's there just like pegging him. And that Richie's son, the one who's shagging his Tony's daughter, he's a knobhead as well. I hope he gets fucking pepped. All right. Yeah.
Enough Sopranos.
It's the Sopranos, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you know, it's inevitable.
I
but yeah,
finished watching Gangs of London today.
You finished it?
I finished watching Gangs of London today. Yeah.
Oh man.
Is that a new thing, or like is it a documentary, or what?
No, it's a new thing. Literally, I think it just came out the last month. It's got John, you know, Peaky Blinders. John from Peaky Blinders.
The main character, don't you?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
not the main character. The younger brother. But he's the main character.
Oh, is he the mad one in Peaky Blinders? I've only watched like the first few episodes of it with my dad.
Yeah. But no, Gangs of London is good, man. I saw on Twitter, I think a lot of people weren't really vibing with it.
Right.
What? Man, it's amazing, man.
I can see why, because there are some parts where it's a bit like, you know, is this would that really happen? Is this quite...
Man, who's questioning it's like who's questioning that shit though? Because it's like so basically, did you ever watch a film from a few years back called The Raid? It's like Indonesian. It's like proper like high octane action movie directed by a guy called Gareth Evans. He's like Welsh. And he's proper into his martial arts, so it's like ultra violent, really kind of perfectly choreographed fight sequences. Yeah. So like I saw this advertised on Sky Atlantic, this Gangs of London, and people were marketing it like, oh, it's a new Peaky Blinders. But then his name was on it, and I was like, all right, okay. So it's kind of a cross between like Harry Brown and like The Raid. It's basically London gangsters, all kind of, you know, you've got all kinds of kind of ethnicities and stuff, and I just think nationalities fighting each other. It's madness, man.
Yeah, I think I like gangster cinema and stuff like that, but only when it's like executed artistically. Like, I think like you know, like, and that's something that British films haven't really managed to grasp. Like Guy Ritchie's sort of grasped it a little bit, but sometimes he's just too fucking gobby. Probably the best example is like Sexy Beast, and then the most recent is maybe like The Business with Danny Dyer in it, but that's still got shit parts in it.
Yeah, man. Think, Sexy Beast is a classic just because of like Don Kingsley. Don Kingsley, you know? Don Kingsley. No, so Ben Kingsley plays Don Logan, doesn't he? I've got the fucking names crossed up.
I don't even fucking know. My girlfriend put me onto it the other day, actually, But yeah, I feel like just that British gangster cinema hasn't caught on with looking good. It's just got all the all right, mate, I'll fucking stab you in the gallivant stuff. You know, it don't have like nice cinematic shots and shit. People can argue that this is Peaky Blinders, yeah, it's got like a big budget and shit.
Well, so where would you put Top Boy then?
Oh, Top Boy, like I admit I haven't watched because I watched first season. I just found it so depressing, bro. But I was just like, I can't be watching this depressing thing, but like, I get depressed myself. Feel me? But it's the first season, you know, when his mum goes mad and that, and he's
weird. I forgot about that actually.
Yeah, that's dark, bro. So I was just kind of like, I think at the time when I was watching it years and years and years ago, I was just like, I'm just not gonna watch it, you know.
Yeah, man. I think the thing is with like Top Boy, it's grounded in reality versus like Gangs of London. It's so like OTT in terms of like the fighting and the violence. It's to your point when you say like it's something well made. Is it like done in kind of an artistic way?
Yeah.
Like this really is, man. Just from like the choreography and the action sequences alone for a TV show, like the storyline's paper thin. Do you know what I mean? It's really kind of by the numbers. But the fucking action sequences are like nothing else you'll see on TV.
That's cool,
just
man.
like it's crazy, man. So if that's your thing, check it out. If it's not, yeah, man.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'll check that out. So Gangs of London. Other than watching Sopranos, what else? I've been reading this book by a Nigerian feminist author. I forget her name because I only started reading it, but that's pretty cool. My girlfriend gave me that to read. I don't normally read shit, so just reading anything is cool. And I read like a few short stories here and there. Like I got some books of Japanese short stories, and then before that, I was reading
Japanese short stories.
Yeah, they got some good ones. I got like some modern contemporary ones in my friend gave me.
How do you get onto that?
Wabi Sabi.
I like Japan, and like also like I don't know if you're like familiar with like Haruki Murakami and like
Norwegian Wood and
Norwegian Wood. Yeah. So like he wrote the foreword of this. It's quite a new Penguin book of contemporary Japanese short stories.
He's amazing, mate. His writing's amazing.
He's fucking surreal. I really like him. He's one of my favorite authors. And then recently I've been getting into this guy, Jorge Luis Borges. He was a Spanish writer from the 40s. And he wrote like books like Labyrinths and The Library of Babel and shit like that. And it's just really, really surrealist stuff. I mean, like, because it's written in the 40s, it may just be the translations. It comes off like a bit kind of boring in terms of diction, but like, it's the kind of shit that you can't translate into cinema. So it's nice to read for sure.
That's that's a really interesting point, man. Because like there is some literature that you think. Like, have you heard of Cormac McCarthy? He's like an American writer. He wrote like The Road and like No Country for Old Men and one of my favorite books.
I know of The Road, but I haven't.
It's so those were made into films, but he famously wrote one called Blood Meridian, and it's about like scalp hunters in America.
Let me write this down. What did you say? Blood Meridian by who?
Cormac McCarthy.
You'll notice I like doing this.
That's cool, man. Yeah. It's a service we provide here at Shotgun New Yorks, man. But it's kind of famously unfilmable because it's like of its kind of like unflinching violence. Do you know what I mean? Okay. But it's so well written though, man. If you're into kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to really pinpoint, you know, what it is and what it's about. Besides kind of like a group of scalp hunters going out into the wilderness and encountering all kinds of really fucked up shit.
Yeah, I never really got into like American writers other than like fucking Steinbeck. Oh, I love Steinbeck. Well, like
the classics.
Yeah, this has turned into book club. And sorry,
yeah, man. No, man. It's all good. So I guess we should probably get onto the music, man. So I was saying, man, I think I'm a little bit dyslexic because like when I first saw your name written on paper, like CL Brooks, it just didn't like register in my mind.
Oh no, that's fine. People think it's some other shit. They always like, is it Carl Brooks or Cliff Brooks or whatever.
I was just trying to like read it out phonetically and I couldn't. And then obviously you like mention your name in tracks and stuff. I was like, CL Brooks, sweet, we got it. But you used to go by, is it Lewis Hammock?
Yeah, Louis Hammock.
Hammock.
You dropped a bomb on him there, bro. No, nobody's got on me with that one. You're like,
yeah, man.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, I fuck with you for looking into that, man. Thank you for doing your research.
Even though I pronounced it wrong, but we'll get over that part.
No. So Louis is my middle name, and I think I don't know. Hammock was probably like me, like being like, because that was some shit I did. Fuck, I was like 16. I started doing that. And there's some really like I was really into like Odd Future and shit, and like you look at all them freestyles, and I'm saying some really absurd things, and like Louis Hammock is kind of like the name sounds a bit like Earl Sweatshirt kind of name, I guess.
Yeah, man.
And then CL Brooks is like in 2014 in SoundCloud, like everybody was just like they'd sort of abbreviate their names and get rid of vowels, kind of like how in 2012 like ASAP Mob and Space Ghost Purple put loads of V's and X's and everything and shit. So like it all comes from a place of never really thinking this through permanently.
I'll read that, man. Nobody really knows like how things are going to go, and obviously like so if I'm right in thinking, so you link with Man Like Verbs on Pathways for the Slow Loris track, and then that kind of led you to work with kind of Maury, and then obviously put out Microwave Cooking 2000 on Blah Records. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, so I still need to get my Pathways vinyl from man like Charlie Hallam. He's got it from Verbs when he came down, and I still haven't picked up from him, the bastard. But I need to. Sorry, that's just reminded me to get the vinyl from him. But yeah, man. So that so the album with Maury. What was kind of the creative process behind that, and the kind of the chemistry behind it? Because it works really well, man.
So obviously went around Murray's crib. I did that first track originally for Burbs on Pathways, Slow Loris. So I did that, and then that was rather quick because I had the verse like sort of written. I just had a MacBook full of fucking bars, so I just like boom. So then we sat there and start clicking, and then we made Camel Blue. And then I think we might have made Salt Shaker. And we and those two beats were made from scratch using, like, he got really excited because he just spent a load of money on these records from Japan or something that cost him like 40 quid a pop or something. So he's like running through this shit, and like, I've never seen anybody do it. Like, I don't know if you've seen people produce sometimes with, like, a lot of people sometimes they play the record and they just listen and they they hear things and they go, oh, I like that. But maybe I'm giving too much away. But like, I don't want to give away his secrets, you know what I mean? But I saw him do it in a completely different way to that, where he really, really just segmented everything and just had almost like a collage. And I was like, whoa, like, this guy really fucking knows what he's doing. I mean, I was aware of what the man had done before and what Blah Records was and shit. But I've always just listened to American rap music, and like, until I really got put on with Blah, like, it wasn't really something I was listening to on a regular basis. But now it's like their family and shit, so I listen to them all the time.
Was Blah the first UK you got put onto?
Nah, like, but I've known about UK hip hop forever. I've just like sometimes found it very cheesy.
Man, I'm gonna bring up an old interview that I read. I think it was from 5 years ago, and someone asked you what you think of UK hip hop, and you said, "Oh, it's just full of old dudes." And then you just went, then you were like, "Except Jess and Skinny Man, like they're sick," but like you were like, "There's a lot of old dudes." So
Yeah, I appreciate you so much for actually like really like Googling shit, man. That's an old interview. Yeah, for real. Like, I did really feel that way. And I still do feel like that way. Like, there's only a few people that I actually listen to in the UK. Like, I listen to the people on the block. I listen to Trell. I listen to a few of the boys up in Birmingham, like all them underground cats. Like, Tony Montana and Frank Armstrong. My favorite rapper in the UK is Conrad Mundy. And shit, I don't like name dropping people because I always feel like I miss people out, you know what I mean? But like, I'm slowly just building. The thing is, I've had to listen to more UK hip hop in order to understand the audience. Like, because if you're making a record for a UK hip hop label, then you're not just gonna go and make some shit that you necessarily want to make. You just make what you want to make for the people, right?
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. It's also kind of, do you think that because of your kind of specific style, that it kind of just fit, the chemistry was there with a label like Blah? Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like a prerequisite. It was just like, you know what? Yeah, we'll put you out on Blah because like we feel like your sound is at home here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm not acting like I never heard of the motherfuckers or anything. Nah, man, I knew about them guys and listened to the music. You know what I mean? Like, I rated them. Like I say, like, to be honest, like, if I wasn't like, if of the only UK hip hop I was listening to around like 2015, 2016, it was just like Lee Scott and Trillian and CZF Baby and shit like that. So like, that's how I knew, because like my boy Little Big Smoke was always playing their shit, always going on about them, inviting me to their gigs. So like, I knew about them. I was like, these guys are hot, like. So I just knew it was the right idea, innit? Like,
yeah, man, that makes sense. So like,
yeah.
How's the reception been so far for the new project, Microwave Cooking?
Good, fucking good, man. Shit, I'm surprised, yo.
Because obviously you've been around a minute, but it's kind of like content just seems to be dropping really rapidly from you at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, whoa, man, this guy is on his grind. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of.
My thing, I made the project, and then like we had like, you know, was it 5-6 month run up for it. So I'm there. I went to, you know, when Lee Scott and John Baxter dropped that happy hour at the super fun Megadome thing, whatever it's called. It's a very long album.
They must have done that on purpose.
I'm sure they'll forgive me for forgetting the title of that album completely. But anyway, like yeah. So I was there, and you know, I'm pissed anyway, like, because everybody pissed. But I said to Salah, I was like, look, I'll do all this shit for you. I'll give you this album. Like, just let me just have a slew of fucking EPs to try and build myself up before we do this. And he said, yeah, that's fine. Like, you know, just like, don't be dropping shit while we're dropping shit. And I'm like, yeah, of course not. I'm not a fucking idiot. And yeah, man, that just kind of seemed to work. I'm very fortunate to be around some of the people that I have, like Honey JD, who records all my music videos, and people like Morriarchi, who's like been doing a lot of mixing and mastering for me. People like Keena, OG Bloops, Dylan the Infamous, all those Donnies that are like just been there since day one, really like putting in work with me. So like I'm just trying to like bring them all with me as well.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Honey JD, that's Loud House, isn't it?
That's Loud House, man. That's the fucking. If you wanna find like something new, maybe that you haven't heard before by a very, very young aspiring rapper in the United Kingdom, that's where you're going. Like yeah, I've seen there's a great video called what's it called? What Up or something like that. Let me Google. By this guy M Nagino. I think he's from Italy.
Right.
And just like it's Understand by M Nagino on Loud House. It was put out 3 weeks ago. It's only got 1,000 views, but it's one of the most interesting like songs I've heard in a while. He's got such a different accent.
Yeah.
Like, because he's like from another country, and you know, it's just so different and cool. And Loud House is off. Like, I guess like, you know, like, well, JD said this a zillion years ago when he started it. It was like fucking, he wanted to do something like Lord of the Mics and create a space for everybody to be together and do things and just flex. And that's what all the early Loud House videos are. They're all freestyle videos. Now it's mostly music videos, but the earliest Loud House music videos, all the videos are freestyles. Like IMDb's like on the first videos like of that channel. So like, man. I think like, you know, this kid, like these two guys, JD and Noah, like they're, what are they, 21? Something like that.
Smashing it.
Young, fuck.
Yeah, they're very, very young, and they're just like the illest kids, like just so happy to fucking be there, and you know, and like me, they're learning, you know. So it's good to be around people that are learning, because like I don't want somebody telling me what the fuck to do all the time. Like it's good to be around people that like everybody's like we all have the same end goal, which is just to succeed, and we're gonna work on that by putting things together, our own minds together, rather than like it's going to be this way, you know.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. So when it comes on to like making a music video, do you already have the concept and the idea in your head, or do you go to someone and talk about like possibilities? How does that work?
Up until recently, no, I don't think. Up until about the Camel Blue music video, I don't think there was any real like sort of idea of what a music video should necessarily look like. It's more based upon the location. Like I have an idea of where I want to do it, what time I want to do it, and what I want to wear, and maybe just like how I want it to be edited. Do I want it to have like lots of reverse? Do I want to be upside down or something like that? And that's a rough idea, but like I let JD really play. You know what I mean? Like
man.
He's He's an artist, like some people might call me an artist. I write raps, but like, you know, whatever, like to each their own. I consider him an artist, and that's what he does. So that's, you know, we work together.
So you know the video that you shot in Lisbon. So did you go over there with the intention of shooting a video, or were you in Lisbon and thought, fuck it, we'll shoot a video?
So we were meant to originally film that video. So like original plan for that video was we were gonna rent out a jazz bar in London.
Oh, real?
Shit.
Nice, man.
And sort of film it and have it all kind of looking like we're like a jazz band. Because Capri Sun is from Oregon. I've been working with Capri Sun since like the early SoundCloud days, and he's been like a friend of mine. But I only met him in December time. The first time I met him was December time.
Where'd you say he was from? Sorry, man.
Eugene, Oregon, in America.
Oregon, cool, man.
Yeah, near California, kind of thing. Yeah. So then he came down December, stayed at mine, and he was traveling around Europe. And then he went off to Europe. He went off to Spain and Lisbon and shit. And it was looking like it was difficult to get him back to London. And it was also like the same amount of money for us to fucking rent out all this equipment and the venue and this and this, as it would be just to get an Airbnb, 2 plane tickets for me and the guy filming, and you know, and his pay for filming it. So for fuck it, let's go. I've been to Lisbon before. I already had an idea of like what sort of areas are cool, like what looks interesting. So like that was just like, we were literally, imagine we're pissed up at the pub. It's like midnight. They just shut the pub, and I'm with Big Smoke, Murray, Sophie, my girlfriend. I don't remember if I was with anybody else. They just ring Salah and go, well, shall we go to Lisbon and film it? And he goes, yeah. And boom, next thing you know, there's just these tickets there, and I'm flying out in like 2 days or something. And it was like, all right, then cool.
Man, that's crazy, man.
2 days there, and luckily it was good weather on the first day. The second day, it pissed it down all day.
It was the fate, man. It's fate.
Mm.
But all the planets are aligning like they are this year. Weird retrograde shit. But
Tried.
But you've obviously got a lot of like visual content out at the moment, and over the last kind of few months, putting things out consistently. You recently did like a blast styling as well, which was sick. So how significant is like visual content for you as an independent artist?
I don't know if for independent artists it matters as much as it does for rappers. 1 second. So, yeah, I don't know. Like it doesn't. I was doing an interview earlier today, a written one, and they were saying sort of like the same thing. Like, what kind of role do you think visuals play in music today? I was saying, like, in my opinion, as a rapper, you know, part of being a successful rapper is like 50% being a good rapper and 50% being cool, or at least 60-40.
Yeah,
especially in UK hip hop, I think.
Oh yeah, UK hip hop, definitely. I know there's a lot of people who I know who can really, really rap, but they walk funny and they've got a weird haircut, so I don't want to listen to them.
Yeah, call them out, mate. I want to know who they are.
No, never.
Joking.
But you know what I mean? Like this is the thing. Like if you took some of my bars and you said them in a normal fucking voice, and you look like something else, maybe it wouldn't be the same thing. And like, you know, there's that element of things, and I do understand that it's not just my music that people are coming for, it's my character as well.
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm not all like, oh yeah, I'm a great musician. You know what I mean?
No, but it's cool like talking to you now, because like getting the context that you sound like how you rap. Do you know what I mean? It is very much you. It is like you're being like genuine, and it's
Thank you. I don't think I do, but you know.
Do you know what I mean? No. Do you know what I mean? When you rap, it's kind of like when you started talking, when you picked up the phone call, it was just like, oh yeah, there he is. I recognise that voice. I recognise the tone of your voice. So that kind of cadence and that kind of, because your flow is kind of not like the most like technical, but it's very like concise, and it's very like the bars are playful, it's funny, but you know, more so in your latest project than they were before, because you've kind of your earlier stuff was a bit darker and that kind of thing. But like, did that style and that kind of tone and that cadence, did that come organically, or did you work on that?
Well, I think like you can hear my voice getting like, you can hear my voice change from like the Louis Hammock stuff. Definitely, there is like a slight more of a nasal approach that I started using. I started talking through my nose more. That could have been like there's like, yeah, there's an intention behind that as well. Like, I like phonetics, you know. There's the idea of the rapper being the final instrument of a beat, so you know you need to complement that. There's as well, it's just like basically I grew up in I was born in Aylesbury, and then at 3 years old I moved to Tanzania with my mum and my dad and my brother.
Oh, seen, man.
And so I lived there for 5.5 years, and then lived in Uganda and Ghana.
Fucking hell, man.
And came back to the UK when I was in year 8, and then went back to Tanzania and finished school up until I was 18.
That's crazy, man.
Fuck.
I've been to Ghana before, man. Where Accra, was it?
Yeah. I lived in Accra, yeah.
That's crazy, man. So what was that like growing up in all those kind of African countries?
It's very different. It was very, very nice because like my dad was working for Guinness, so you know, like our accommodation was paid for, my education was paid for. I got to live like a very, very comfortable life, and like, you know, got to meet like lots of different people from so many different backgrounds. You know, like some of my best friends growing up were South Korean, Mormon.
Oh yeah.
Random things like that.
International school then?
Yes, I went to international schools. So there's that which has an effect on my accent, as well as being from the south of England and living in the south. And then my father's from Doncaster and my mother's from Nottingham.
Donny Soldier. Yeah,
my dad's a Donny Soldier, yeah. So like he speaks very like northern, you know. So like I have a bath. I don't have a bath, or maybe I do have a bath. It depends, because like living with my girlfriend for the past 4 or 5 years now has kind of like altered it a bit. Like I say, I'm a bit more southern in my words, but there is definitely a confused accent. I see it in like YouTube comments and shit. People are like, where the fuck is this kid from? Like, what the fuck is up with an accent? Like, you know what I mean? But no, it's no shame. Like, you know, we just fucking my
makes
voice
you unique, doesn't it? It's that kind of
It does.
distinct voice. Like no one's ever going to mistake you for anyone else rapping on a track. Do you know what I mean?
You're like accentless.
Yeah. I'm essentially accentless because I've never really. This year, I think I've been living in England as long as I've lived in Tanzania for. So like, I'm still getting used to like actually living in this country. Like, I came back in 2013, and it was just like a bit of a culture shock. Like, you know, just like normality and
things move a lot faster in the UK, don't they? Like it's
I don't know. Life is very fast paced in developing Africa. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very, very fast paced. But like, no. It's just the way people are different. In Tanzania, if you're walking down the road on the morning and or any time of day and you see somebody, you greet them, and you don't greet people. So it's just like. Little things like that had me confused, like, you know. So now I'm getting used to it. But yeah, man.
But there's kind of similarities to being up north in the UK. Like my mum's like from Cumbria, so like my family from up north, and everyone's dead friendly up there. Do you know what I mean? You go up there and it's nice. Like, you just talk to people, and you come back here and like people don't talk to each other down here. Do you know what I mean?
Miserable.
Yeah, it's just different. It's culturally different.
I think it's getting better though, because every time I do ask Northerners to come down, they're like, you know, the people being nice to you and shit. They're like, yeah, it's actually a lot better than I expected it to be. You know, I mean, the tube is a tube thing. Like nobody fucking talks to each other on a tube. But like, you know, people are getting a bit better in London at communicating and saying hello and stuff. I think, yeah, but for a long time. Maybe it's just me and how I'm very approachable and I make eye contact with like randomers and shit and get myself in stupid situations.
That's a good trait though, man. That's like not a trait to like be ashamed of. That's cool.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's kind of.
But you know, I go for a walk down fucking Islington. I'll get told about Jesus about 3 times while I'm there, and I ask for come out with no change and no cigarettes once I'm done. Shit, man.
And you've learned a lot more about Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
so going from Africa to England, man, how did you start getting into rapping and writing?
I started. I think I wrote my first. You know what really got me into rap music? Like I'd always listened to rap music like since a very early age. Like the first rap music I ever heard, I think, was Straight Outta Compton by NWA.
Nice.
And then some Public Enemy stuff that my dad liked that really like upbeat, like quite you know,
big drums,
aggressive early 90s stuff with sort of higher BPM. I mean, he wasn't because he really liked punk music and reggae, and he liked sort of music with messages and shit.
So quite a varied taste then.
Yeah. My dad had a super varied taste. Like he loved music, and that's a big inspiration behind my music taste. But yeah, so then I think what really fucking got me into rap music was I think he bought me. What year is Get Rich or Die Trying? Is that 2006 or
2003?
Yeah, it's earlier, isn't it?
Wow, what year? So how old was I if I was born in 1994? Get Rich or Die Trying.
I think I was 15 when that came out, man. So I'm 14 or 15, I think. Yeah. 2003.
I was 9. My dad bought that for me.
Damn,
was it 6th of February 2003? Yeah.
That's
so
crazy,
that shit put me on. And then also, this is mad corny, yo. Fucking Linkin Park, they had the lyric booklets. And I'd read Mike Shinoda's bars. And Mike Shinoda wrote his bars perfectly in the lyric booklets. Like, he literally had it like 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So that kind of like, it gave me an inclination of like how to do it. I think I wrote my first rap at maybe like 12 or 13 though. And I'm 25 now. And I started taking rap seriously when I turned around 18. And I probably started publishing rap music around when I was 16. Right. So yeah, I mean it's been about nine years since I first started publishing rap music on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
For someone that's 25, that's quite a long time actually.
I was just thinking about it the other day. I was going to make a soppy Twitter post, but I decided not to because I was a bit pissed. Yeah, I have this rule: if it takes over 7 seconds to think about it, just don't tweet it. But I was thinking, like, literally, I was going to fucking not do this when I turned 25, if nothing happened. And then this recently, there's been some good signs. Like, not amazing signs. I'm not fucking a millionaire or nothing, you know what I mean? But people are showing love. So I can't stop.
That's the thing, man. That's it. I mean, at the end of the day, like, as I said, like, the trajectory's just kind of gone, like, you know, from to 0 to 100 in, like, a matter of minutes. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, whoa, like...
Oh, shit.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I'm fucking... My numbers, like... Yeah, I don't want to brag about shit, but yeah, it's fucking gone crazy in, like, a month. Like, it started going crazy when Bellamy shared some shit. Of me, like Bellamy rarely posts videos on their Instagram, and then they put something on their Instagram, and then it just went And then with the album, and just like it's just been this constant up and up and up and up and up. And every time I see a 4, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, say, like, Monday we dropped the video and it did, like, Blast Island did 5K in 24 hours. This one only did 3K in 24 hours. I was fucking beating myself right up about it. But I'm thinking, oh, no, it's Blast Island. But that edge, that competitive edge that I have is what's keeping me going at the moment. Me just fucking being like, no, it's not good enough. You know?
Yeah. No, I hear that, man.
Yeah.
But that's the competitive, I guess, quality that just exists in hip hop. Do you know what I mean? Like, you compete with other people, you compete with yourself. It's just like you're your own biggest critic, and that's what kind of drives you to create more music. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have a big respect for athletes in that respect, in that sense as well. Like, that whole thing, like, I really compare, like, you know, do you remember one kid in school? He had no fucking, like, no birds liked him, and he wasn't very, very good in class or nothing, but he just mashed out football every day.
Yeah, there's always that one kid, man.
That's what it is, man, and you just have to be like you when it comes to rapping, otherwise, like...
Yeah, I hear that, man. Do you think it's weird, like, the differences, like, the fundamental differences culturally between, like, us Brits and Americans? Like, in America, the person you've just described is the popular kid. You know what I mean? Like, the jock, the person who's, like... Do you know what I'm saying? It's, like, really, really into sport. That's kind of, like, the epitome of, like, oh, yeah, they're going to do really well in life. Whereas over here, it's, like, a little bit different.
I think maybe America's such a big place, it's actually kind of hard to tell, because, you know, like, that might be the case for, like, one, like, you know, school in, like, Oklahoma, for example. But, you know, like, our high school in fucking Manhattan, it might be about, like, the kid who's fucking, you know, getting the most gal and is, you know, wearing trainers and he's smoking the nicest weed and shit. And I think, like, do you know about Weirdon?
Of what, sorry?
Weirdon or Weirdon or whatever his name is. He's this little you on SoundCloud. He's massive, man. He's bigger than me, bro. Like, yeah, he's smashing it. He's this little white kid in America. And, like, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, bro. Like, but he's yeah, man, you gotta find him on Instagram. He's like there, like with the strap and some lead in the fucking chain.
Man.
I don't follow SoundCloud as much as I should do, man, because there's some good stuff on there, isn't there?
I don't really keep up with it too much anymore, but there's like a few like OG people that, like, you know, you just gotta keep tabs on, because sometimes, like, people like, you know, Tops and Doof and all these random, like, old SoundCloud producer names and shit, like, they're real, like, they drop gems, man, you know what I mean? I love that shit. I love SoundCloud with all my heart.
So who else are you listening to at the moment, man? Like, any genre? New shit? Anything, man. What else are you kind of... What are you listening to? What was, like, the last thing you listened to, for example?
Literally the last thing I listened to was this guy called Spiros Zagoraios. Me and my girlfriend listened to.
Nice,
so
man.
My girlfriend's she's she's a quarter Greek Cypriot. And, like, yeah, so, like, she's got, like, a big, like, Greek family, and, like, yeah, so we listen to some Greek shit because I like Greek shit. But what have I been listening to, like, on a day-to-day? I've been listening to really gassy hip-hop just to get me fucking motivated. Like, Cameron, MOP.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, you know, shit with a lot of one-liners and punchlines and shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh, shit, Killer Shah from back in the day. Do you remember Killer Shah?
Yeah, man, I do.
Killer Shah, yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Killer Shah as well for some reason. I don't know why. It hurts me.
It's weird, isn't it? You kind of go through phases of just, like, you hear something or something reminds you in a movie or, like, in a show, and you're just like, shit, I forgot about that. And then you just dive down a rabbit hole. Or is it just me? I just kind of...
Yeah. No, you do with YouTube. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, go on. You were going to say?
Aidan, you were going to say something.
No, I was saying, man, I do that.
Yeah, man.
Like, that little sort of YouTube rabbit hole, man, just come up with some random shit.
Easily happens, man.
The other big thing, which, like, I sort of just have to mention, because I think it's almost like apparent maybe in my sound or something, like, is Griselda Records. Like, I feel like Griselda, like, just all the West Side Gun shit, everything that they do, like, man, when they went from Jimmy Kimmel to Far in the Booth, and I like literally anytime, like, I have this thing, like, anytime that they win, like, everybody wins. Like, it's just such a big move for all this hip hop that we've been dying to see on a popular sphere.
Yeah, man.
For years and years and years, you know.
And it's admirable that they're doing it, like, they're in their, like, you know, late 30s as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's they've been about a minute, and they've always had a big cult following. They've got so much material. But yeah, it's sick to see that they're still, you know, kind of like blessing the world with this really like decadent, gritty fucking hip hop.
I think they're incredibly well curated projects.
Yeah.
And B, like, you know, just it's just good. It's good rap. Like, it's not that real hip hop shit. Like, they're not being miracle spiritual individuals. You know, it's not like when you hear like a brand new fucking Ras Kass song or something like that.
Yeah, I hear that.
What the fuck is that? It's like brand new Redman, and you're like, oh, this is horrible. And it's like, you were my hero. You know.
I'm sorry, Redman. sorry, Reggie.
Well, he can hear it, because I don't want to fucking collab with him now, do I? I mean, if I had a time machine, we could go back in the day. But yeah, mate, he's a bit washed now, isn't he? To be honest.
I saw Meth and Red live a couple of years ago, and they.
Oh, bro, I'd be gassed, man. I'd be like kissing their feet and that. Still.
The thing I was going to say was because obviously like Method Man's had like the Hollywood makeover because he's been in a lot of movies and stuff. So he had like, you know, the kind of real gleamy like pearly whites. He's like, yeah, but fucking Redman looks so old, man. He looks like next to. It's weird because I saw him about 10 years before that. And they did basically the same set. They did basically the same set. It was when Blackout 2 came out. And Redman aged terribly like during that decade, and Method Man basically like stayed exactly the same.
Mate, you're literally you're subliminally cursing me right now, bro. Imagine what I'm actually gonna like. I'm gonna do it. Like, look, I'm 25 fucking years old, and I look like I'm about 29, 30.
Aidan's 15, so like.
Yeah, man.
Clubs, mate.
Yeah, Aidan, how old are you? You look younger than me.
No, I'm 24.
No, wait. Sorry, what about my man, top corner?
Me or
25.
Jake?
25. Yeah, shit, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. You look a lot fresher than I do. With 25. Big up to you, man.
45, fuck, I'm 32, man.
32. No, you look good for a 32-year-old as well, man.
Bless, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Flattery.
Hey, man, you look good. You know,
Flattery will get you everywhere, CL Brooks.
That's what I do, man. I've just been going around kissing ass, and that's how it happened, bro. Like, don't believe anything. I didn't work hard at all. I was actually just noshing Bear Man off to get where I am.
All the way to the top, man.
Bro, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. It's not who
Hey,
you know.
knows all about that.
It's not who you know, it's who you blow.
Yeah, exactly,
Who
mate.
said that? Super hands.
No. Actually, sorry, that was bad to miss. So I'll tell that back.
Fire Festival, you know what I mean?
Oh shit! Did you watch that documentary on Fire Festival?
Oh yeah, dude, shout out to Ja Rule.
What was that tweet that he tweeted recently? Didn't he? And he was just like, "Oh, if anyone needs me, I'll be in like Alaska or something." And
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Man, nobody's needed you since 2003."
Dave Chappelle done that, innit? Like, it's just like ever since Dave Chappelle cursed him off with that thing, man. Like, where it's fuck Ja Rule. The thing is, though, you listen back, yeah. I used to hate Ja Rule with passion, man. If fucking little 9-year-old me had met Ja Rule, I would have been swinging for him.
Even back in the day, though, he was corny, man. He was just like a DMX knockoff, wasn't he? Like,
no, the whole point was I was ride or die for G Unit, mate. I was part. I was so into G Unit. I was in the back in the album art. Trust me, like Tony Yayo was on the wall.
I remember listening to the Ja Rule diss Eminem where he says that that Kim's a slut, so what's Hayley gonna be when she grows up? And I was like, rah.
Yeah,
Come
no,
out, bro.
this is the thing. You listen to Ja Rule now, like, and them songs with Jennifer Lopez, particularly, which apparently isn't even Jennifer Lopez singing. Apparently, is Ashanti singing "I'm Real."
Oh yeah, Shanty was like, it was the what was the label called back in the day?
Murder Inc.
Murder Inc. Murder.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck off, man. Shut up.
I'm Real by Ja Rule. I bumped that shit on a sunny day like a motherfucker. What's my motherfucking
What I will say, man, that fucking joint he did with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, New York, that was a banger. To be fair, like I fucking still rate that track.
Have you seen that 50 Cent's been putting out music videos recently for like songs that he put out like 10 years ago?
Oh fuck yeah, bro!
I rate that, dude.
It's like what? It's like the massacre.
One of the
like 20 music videos, I swear.
Yeah. One of the videos, I can't for life remember what the video was, but the video was like the song was by someone featuring 50 Cent and Wiz Khalifa, but the person it was originally by wasn't in the music video. But they didn't the video.
Oh,
classic 50, man.
They basically just did like a cover off it and just robbed it.
Have you seen 50 Cent's been like trolled by like this graffiti artist who keeps kind of doing these graffitis of 50 Cent's face on dictators, on like a dictator's face? It'll be like King Jong-un, but it's like 50 Cent's face. So you know what I mean? And he just keeps tweeting like, "Who the fuck keeps doing this shit to me?"
Framed on the wall. I love that video where does he throw Tony Yayo or Young Buck in a bush?
I think
bullying him.
I think it's Yayo, man.
And there's another video. There's another video where like some geezer like steps to him and like obviously 50's not shook, but like even 50's missus like ain't tripping. Like, you know how normally like most people's girlfriends would be like, fucking leave it out, whatever. You know what I mean? This bird is just chilling because she knows he's a fucking like, yeah, man. I love 50 Cent. I need a 50 Cent like cross.
do you remember that documentary called Beef that was on YouTube? Because it's like 50's like interviewed about like Ja Rule. And like, you know, in those Beast documentaries,
Smack DVD kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's funny, man, because you know normally fucking.
I like that.
Oh man!
All right, we're looking at a picture now of like King Jong-un and like what's that?
No understanding of the relevance.
Oh man, Takeshi 6ix9ine as well, man.
Jeez, yo, that one.
You can see all his.
Who's that? Amy Winehouse.
No, it's like, I don't even know, bruv. That's fucking
What
sick.
is that?
It reminds me of like Nigerian film posters. It's hard,
oh man.
He's out. That Takeshi 6ix9ine is out now, isn't he?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's out, man.
Did he snitch? He's like grassing the people.
I mean, he was going to come out anyway, but I think it was on coronavirus grounds, isn't it?
Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense, man. But on that documentary, like 50 Cent just looks into the camera and he's just like about Ja Rule, and he just earnestly says, just like, "I just do not like that guy." And he's not even kind of gangster about it or anything. He's just like, "I just do not like that man." He just fucking hates him to his core.
We need more videos like that in this culture, man. Like, I reckon, like, I was watching one the other day where fucking Max B is making fun of Prodigy from Mobb Deep, and it's just incredible. Like, it's just like it's even better than a diss track. It's just like somebody just walking along, being like, "You're a fucking bomb."
What? So we need more UK hip hop beef.
Yeah, negativity for sure, man.
Yeah, man. It's all too passive aggressive, innit? Everyone loves each other, but everyone, it's bullshit, innit?
It's because the scenes are too small. Like, we can't say one thing about one another, otherwise you know somebody's ringing you up tomorrow. It's like, yeah, it's fucked.
Just did it for the lols, mate.
Yeah, I mean there is like beef there, innit? It's just not like public, is it? It's just weird. It's not like well known.
But I guess it's because it doesn't have like the commercial appeal that like mainstream hip hop does in the States, nobody knows about it anyway. So if you know, you know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mate, your laugh is fucking insane. Man.
It's so funny. Like if you kind of transcripted what I was saying, it would sound awful. Like because I'm right here and you can see my face and I'm laughing.
That's actually what Jake's doing secretly. He's like typing everything down. He's just like typing everything down, man. But
Shotgun York's
ebook, man. narrated by C.L. Brooks. I'd actually fucking love that, man.
Well, Tom and Aidan, if we had an audiobook, who would you want to narrate it?
C.L. Brooks, man. I've just said.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Aidan.
But what book? That's the question.
Any book.
Any book, and you got to pick a narrator.
Erotic literature.
Yeah, something like that, man.
50 Cent.
Yes.
Gotta be more specific, man. It's just like, what book? 50 Cent.
Man.
What?
50 Cent reading a lot of literature.
Everything I can think of is terribly raunchy and just not acceptable.
Oh man, right. Let's get on to some like thought experiments then. If you lost,
change topic.
If you could collaborate with any artist dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dead
or alive, man. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dead artist.
It's not alive. Alive. There's too many alive people in there.
Too many alive people.
No, but you know what I mean, like, because you either die like you die or you die a legend, isn't it? So like, maybe, man, from a rap perspective, probably Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
From like just a random ass musical perspective, shit, man, I don't know. Is Bernard Herrmann still alive?
I don't know.
I'm googling that. Is Bernard Herrmann still alive, man?
Man, your Google search history is weird tonight, man.
Wait. I hope he's alive. Nah, he died in 1975. Yeah, I'm not
laughing that he's dead. It's just like quite. It was a considerable amount of time ago.
Bernard Herrmann's dead.
It was 45 years ago on Christmas Eve. Fucking hell. Anyway, yeah, man. Okay, all right, cool.
Got a bit dark there.
No, but he did. You know, like the Taxi Driver theme song and all that shit.
Oh shit. Okay. So he was like a composer for films and that, or
yeah, that shit would be gangster. So like, you know, like imagine like Ghostface Killer over some shit like that.
Because did you hear like the Adrian Young stuff Ghostface did? You know,
No, I didn't even know about it.
Man, it's fucking crazy. I can't remember the name of the project. Adrian Young. Yeah, it's like a concept album where he's like it's called 12 Reasons to Die. You got to get on that, man. It's really sick. It's like a concept album, like a killer comes back to like, it's like a mission of vengeance, basically. But it's a really cool kind of story throughout it. Right. But the kind of musicianship and like the instrumentals are just amazing. Do you know what I mean? It's like proper like cinematic. Definitely worth checking out, man.
Sure. Wait, I'm trying to think of alive now. Ariana Grande, so I make bank, bro.
To be fair, that's like probably the most like well thought out response.
Yeah, everybody else is I want to work with this really underground guy. Nah, man, I want to work with Justin Bieber, G. See me on Trevor Norton.
I would die a happy man if I saw a CL Brooks Justin Bieber collaboration. Do you know what I'm saying?
That happened, man. No, that should be fire. Obi-Wan's got a collaborate. Obi-Wan's got a song with Lil B on it. That's kind of cool.
Who's that?
Obi-Wan.
Who's that?
He's
I'm not down with the kids as much as I should be now.
Yeah, he actually he's a rapper. He's a rapper from the Bahamas. He did a track. He did an album with Looms called Languid Oceans on Blah.
Yeah.
Or Mine dropped. But yeah, like he's like more on the internet than the UK. Like I guess like this is like a UK thing, you know what I'm saying?
No, man, this is a hip hop thing, man. It's just it's good to kind of be educated. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm just saying that so he doesn't like see it and be like, oh man, don't know what.
Yes, no, that's for the record. That was just me, man. Who wasn't
my weed. I'll be one moment.
You're all good, man.
You know what? I'd love to like record his laugh as like a sample.
Yeah, that's a really sick idea, man. Maybe we could use it. Can we sample your laughter, like, and make a like laughter track out of it, and then just like use it in subsequent episodes of the podcast when if I say a joke that isn't funny and it doesn't land, we can just like edit your laughter into it afterwards.
Yeah, like in Friends.
We should give this whole episode to an animator like that. What's it called? What's that dickhead comedian that I don't like called? So.
Ricky Gervais? Is that what you're talking
about? Yeah. You should make it like that. We still be in the cartoon.
Why aren't you a fan of Ricky Gervais?
Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. I just don't like Ricky Gervais. Like I ain't seen his new thing, but like, yeah, he just seems like he just thinks he knows everything, and it's just like, bruv, how you're like, what do you mean you go criticize the Oscars while you're stood there getting paid for it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like it's a bit whack. You know what I mean? Like, if you hate something that much, don't fucking do it. Like, I get it. It's a joke, though. It's a joke.
Yeah, I think that's just his thing, though, isn't it? Like, he just goes at people, and that's kind of like his whole branding.
But
to be controversial.
Yeah,
I like controversial comedians. I like fucking Frankie Boyle, and like lots of people hate that guy. Like I know a lot of my friends. I'll be watching Frankie Boyle, and I'll be like, I'll turn this dickhead off. But I think he's just a Marmite, Donny, isn't it? It's like my music. It's like you either have to really like Ricky Gervais or not like Ricky Gervais, you know.
Oh yeah, man. It's the same. Like it's subjective, isn't it? Like comedy, music, anything. It's just like.
I walked past him on the street once, and I didn't bother him. So I mean, you know, that's
what? What really?
Yeah. I was in Hampstead for around. I don't know why were we in Hampstead.
Because he lives there, doesn't he? He lives in Hampstead. Yeah.
We wanted to ball out, so we went to Hampstead, and and he was just walking down the hill, and it was like that's Ricky Gervais, and like instead of being like, "Oh, Ricky, mate," and annoying him, I was like, "Oh, have a nice day." So I don't hate him that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's really like civil of you, man. That's like probably, most people I probably would have made a drunken dickhead of myself, to be fair.
I leave most celebrities alone, like 'cause you encounter a lot of them in London, and I've worked in luxury retail before, so like you work with them a lot, and you almost have to pretend that you don't know who they are, and they know that you know who they are.
Yeah, so, weird, like dynamic, isn't it? It's mad.
Yeah. Like one time Aziz Ansari came into the shop, and I was just like, "Hey, man," and he just like looked at me, and I was just like, "Yeah."
Oh man, did you ever see that film? This Is the End. You know, like Seth Rogen and that. It's like the end of the world. They're all playing themselves, and Aziz Ansari like falls into a fucking crater in the first scene.
I think so. All them films are mad similar though, like Hot Tub Time Machine and shit. Like they all that and The Hangover, like they're all like one massive movie in my head.
That one though, like Michael Cera, like just snorts a fat line of coke and then just like slaps Rihanna's ass. It's just because he's like a complete warped version of himself.
Sounds right.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. Such a funny film. So CL Brooks, man, like how would you describe him to someone who's never heard him before? Speaking of CL Brooks in the third person.
I'm never fond of this question because I like to kind of just be kind of cool about it and be like, oh, I wouldn't ever want to describe myself to somebody. I just want to let them hear the art, man. Half the Toad once said I sound like Leaf Dog from Shoreditch, but that was kind of taking the piss out of me. So I don't know. What would I say I sound like? Some people have said I sound like a UK Danny Brown.
Okay.
Because of the squeaky voice. But I don't say that.
It's not as extreme. It's not as like extreme as that, you know.
It
like
used to be. I think on Habits I was a bit extreme, and maybe that's why. On Habits I'm very, very. What would I describe myself as? I'd just be like, you like lo-fi?
All right, man. No, fair one. But what's like next for you, man? In the pipeline, you got a project coming up, right?
Yeah. So
another one, man. Prolific.
Another one, baby.
Another one.
I'll tell you about this, but I won't tell you about the next two because you never know. Calendars might. No, it's nothing against you. It's just the calendars might change and.
Well, 2020 is pretty much a write-off now, isn't it?
Oh, it's never a write-off when you see our books, baby. So May 20th out. It's a 5-track EP that's produced by Dre the Ski Mask with my friend Conrad Mundy. He's a rapper from Stevenage. He's like one of my good friends, and we started like making it about 3 years ago, and there was probably about 7 or 8 tracks, and then we were just like, fuck it, these are the 5 good ones that we now like after 3 years, and we're not going to waste all this money. And like, it seemed like a good time to drop it, you know. And like, I think it's gonna be an independent drop. It's not dropping on Blah. Like Blah's family and that, like I fuck with Blah, and I'm gonna continue doing Blah projects with Blah, but they've also allowed me the freedom to do my own thing within reason, which is the best thing for me as an artist.
100%, man.
Yeah, so May 20th, Wednesday, May 20th.
And what kind of sound can we expect from the new project, man? Is it?
Oh, it's produced by Dre the Ski Mask, so you can imagine like maybe some of the old Cold Mountain kind of beat, that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You could imagine some like Memphis samples. You could imagine just like heavy bass and very stripped back bare instrumentals. Like just very simple. It's not like it's dope though. We've got some good merch in the pipeline. We're doing a hoodie with Scum Life. There's going to only be 20 of them.
And did you come up with the concept for the EP together, or did you come up with it yourself and then go looking for a producer to work with?
No, we were buying beats off of Dre, and then I had to start thinking of some shit, and I think it's Lemmy from Motorhead who had this. It was written on his guitar when he performed it, or maybe they even had a song called "Born to Lose" out for lunch. So like I always liked that phrase. So like we were gonna call it "Born to Lose" out for lunch, but no, we just put out for lunch because you don't want to get algorithmically fucked up and have to coming up with Motorhead when you Google it.
No, man, that is in fact a Motorhead track, "Born to Lose." Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Yeah. So it's like Mundy's music follows quite like a sort of is quite dark and oftentimes melancholic. And what we've done is like his voice is a lot deeper than mine, so we complement each other well. That's all I could say. It's funny, we've had to make 2 music videos. The 2 music videos we haven't been able to be with each other to film them. So I've made them entirely using iMovie and videos I've downloaded off of YouTube. So like that goes back to like the topic of like what we've been doing during quarantine. Like I've been learning iMovie and like doing video collages and shit.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all gonna drop. We got a hoodie with Scum Life, limited edition. There's only 20 of them.
Oh.
That hat you dropped, like the Clark's one, Clark's logo.
Oh yeah,
Brooks
we had the hat,
Life.
T-shirt. Yeah.
That was sick, man. I rated that.
Thank you. I think maybe the cap or the beanie, there might be a couple left, but the tees are gone. There's still some vinyl left. There's a few left of them. They're not all sold out yet. So yeah, we're having a good run. We're definitely having a good run. It's just got to see where it goes with May 20th with me as releasing independently. Well, not independently, just with another artist, but not with the backing of a big UK hip hop label.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to our roots a little bit, relying on the internet, relying on our fan base. Yesterday I sent out over 80 emails. I've assigned an art director to that project. Working with merchandise. I do a lot of micromanaging for myself as an independent artist because I'm not managed.
Yeah.
That's why you could probably. Some people are like, oh shit, you're not managed. But for most people, it's easy to tell just because you can see how accessible I am through my social media. I reply to people. I like things. I'm about all the time. You can find me. I think that's another thing that, is helping me. Me, like, not being a dickhead and me being a real person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
100%, man. So where can before we sign off, where can people find your music? Where can people find you on socials?
Okay, so all right, we'll start. Instagram is Young Puff 6 Hunter. So that's YUNGPUFF 6 the number and then Hunter HUNNA. Young Puff 6 Hunter, like Young Puff Daddy 600. So Twitter, CL Brooks. Facebook, CL Brooks. Most importantly, if you would like to support me in any way, go to clbrooks.bandcamp.com. That brings more money to my pocket than any streams, and that's one of my many ways of finding a way to get back. So yeah, thank you.
Scene, man, scene. And Bandcamp have they've had a couple of days, haven't they, recently during lockdown where they've waived charges and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so it's
really
giving artists a helping hand, man. So hopefully that becomes more of like a semi-permanent thing going forward for independent artists selling their music on there.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah, I think they might be doing it every Friday while this lockdown shit goes on, at least in America or something. So you'll see there's gonna be a lot of saturation on Fridays. So it's a good thing. It is. Everything's a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? I made some money on that Friday. It was a good day. But thank you so much for allowing me to let the people know where they can find me as well, man. I really appreciate that.
Oh, man,
no, of course. And when this is all over, man, we invite you to come down to Bournemouth, or we'll try and link up something in London. You've got to do a face-to-face podcast, man.
Oh no, I need to come to Bournemouth. I've never been, and I've heard they've got sand on the beaches, not pebbles.
I'm on the beach now. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. It's always daytime, man.
Bournemouth, man.
Yeah, exactly. Man. And they got some good nightclubs there, right? Like for partying, not like some hip hop shit, but for fucking.
Yeah, man. It's got a big kind of nightlife scene in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You kind of if you grew up around it, you kind of grow out of it when you're quite young. Do you know what I mean? Like
everybody. Yeah.
But if you were an outsider coming in, you would love it. Do you know what I mean? It's you'd have a good time here.
All right, man. You know what? If you guys know anybody, bring me through. I'll do a show, man. Whatever. I'd love to come to Bournemouth any day of the fucking week, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Definitely. Know a few heads, so we'll put you in contact with them and event planners and that. So, of course, man.
Thank you very much.
For sure, bro. But before we sign off, Aidan, man, where can you find us?
You can find us on all streaming platforms: YouTube, Facebook, and all over the socials. Go follow us at Shotgun the Auth. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and chuck us a like and that. But yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah,
thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, man. Appreciate it.
Everybody, stay safe.
Yeah,
you
stay
too.
safe,
Cheers.
man.
Peace. Bye bye. Take care.